Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here for Wednesday, February 19th. We're getting to today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. Kind of brutal to talk about it. We ended up having Davidson minus 12.5, which ended up losing as Davidson lost outright. Even though they lost outright, that was one of the worst collapses I've seen from a team in college basketball, probably this year. I mean, Davidson was up, I believe they were up like 14-2, like 4 minutes into the game. They were up 31-11 with about 4 minutes to go in the first half, and then they went into the break up 19. So you got a team laying 12.5, up 19 against a 4-21 opponent, missing their best player, and Davidson got outscored by 20 in the second half and lost outright. I mean, it's not as bad as betting Davidson money line in that spot compared to the spread, but I don't know. We got a loss there. Davidson forgot how to play basketball. There's really no other way to put it. They made 0 threes in the entire second half. St. Joe's can't score. They're missing their best player, and then St. Joe's scores 50-something in the second half. It was a complete just choke job. There's no real other way to put it. But anytime I can get a bet of mine up 19 at the half, I got to take that to the bank. So it is what it is. We didn't get the win there. But I still believe that the spot itself was nice, and the line ended up going up to 13. So there was some value, but unfortunately Davidson just fell apart down the stretch. But for today's play of the day, we're going to be sticking with college basketball because this is the final day before the NBA resumes in the post-All-Star break part of the season. And even though there are a couple of ranked teams that are playing, there is one match in particular that I like due to the value it presents, and it will be on a total. Even though this team hasn't been as great towards the over as they have in recent years, I'm still going to have to give it out. It's going to be a play of the day between Chattanooga and Citadel, and we like the over 151, and that line is available on DraftKings at minus 108. First of all, like all Citadel games, whether or not they go over, the line has always been bet up towards the a couple of points. Open up at 149, up to 151. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this approach somewhere around 152 to 153, right around opening tip. So I think that this number does possess some value to it. A couple of reasons why I like it. First of all, same reason as always, Citadel loves playing at a very fast pace, as Citadel ranks 7th in adjusted offensive tempo according to KenPom rankings. So I already know Citadel's going to go up and down. They're going to play no defense. This team stinks. They're 0-14 in conference, and they can't really stop anybody. I mean, if you've looked at their recent games, their offense has actually been the issue. They're averaging 76 points per game, but offensively they have struggled a bit lately, giving up scoring 67 and 62 in their last couple of games. But defensively, they've been an absolute disaster, giving up 91 to East Tennessee State and giving up 88 to Greensboro. And if you've watched Greensboro play, not exactly a prolific offensive team, but they have actually played against Chattanooga earlier this season, and that game ended up going well over this posted total, as they ended up playing early this year, and the final score was a 92-69. So you ended up getting a total of 161 points, and now you have the total that's currently being set at 151. I think this line is just a bit too low for me. Plus, if you've looked at Chattanooga's recent games, they've actually trended towards the over, as defensively they haven't exactly looked sharp over their last couple of games, and offensively they have looked pretty good, as they were able to score 84 points against Wofford, which is a pretty solid win. Wofford having a bit of a down year, but still a solid defensive team, scored 84 against them, and they also managed to score 86 against VMI. They scored 92 in the first game. I think they should be able to get somewhere around 80, if not a little bit more in this game, and I think you should see this go over. Now, for the actual spread, which kind of is another reason why that I like it, the spread is currently around 8.5. So, it was bet down from 10.5 to 8.5, so I am a believer that if this is somewhat close to the total, you could see some free throws take over late in the game. And that is very important because of the fact that the Citadel still likes to do a borderline full-court press. They're not really fully committed to it, but they mostly do it just to speed up their opponents. And based on that, you should see a lot of free throws, a lot of foul attempts, so both teams should get into the bonus relatively early, which could lead to a free throw contest down the closing stages of this game. So for me, I think the total is still a bit too low, especially after the first meeting broke into the 160s. I think you should see this game get somewhere around the high 150s, give or take. So for that reason, I think there's value on it. So the play of the day, once again, will be on Chattanooga and the Citadel, and we like the over 151, and that is available on DraftKings at minus 108. Now, looking at the rest of the betting card, besides the play of the day loss, though, our leans yesterday were actually very good. We were right about Illinois. We were right about Baylor in the under. We were right about Dayton. We got that one right as well. Yeah, overall, the leans were pretty solid, but unfortunately, that wasn't as important as the play today. But for the rest of the card, I see a decent amount of money coming in on Auburn here against Georgia. They've been bet up from 2.5 to roughly 3.5. Tom Crean with Georgia, he did get Edwards as a recruit, but that team is just not. They just don't have it defensively in particular. This team can't guard anybody. Auburn has been very interesting away from home. It seems like they always have to rally in the second half in order to win these games. Did the same thing against Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago. They had to win double overtime, fell behind early. I'll lean to the over, though. I know money has come in on the under. But with Tom Crean's team and with how Auburn likes to play an up-tempo style under Pearl, I have to lean to the over. I think one of these teams should get into the 80s. I think you should see this game get a little bit high scoring. So I'll lean to the over on that one. Other than that, there are a couple games that I will personally be skipping, but one of them is Michigan-Rutgers. I know Michigan's played a lot better with the Livers, and I personally have a future on them to win the title at 50-1. But Rutgers is undefeated at home. They're 17-0 at home. So I can't exactly go against Rutgers in the rat right now. So I'm personally gonna have to skip that. So I'll pass. Other than that, what else do I like? I'm gonna lean to the under 112 between Boston College and Virginia. Self-explanatory. Virginia can't score defensively. They're really good. Total's very low, but it's been bet down from 114 to 112, and the spread's gone up from 10.5 to 12. I don't think Boston College is gonna break 50 points. I think if they do, it could be a very small 50, but I could see them finishing somewhere in the realm of 48. I just don't think they're going to score for pretty much the entire game. So I'll lean to the under on that one. Other than that, what else do I like? The Villanova one looks like a trap spot, so I'm personally going to lay away from it. But DePaul's been absolutely miserable in conference play, and they also just can't hit free throws to save their lives. So I'm going to pass on that one. I would lean to Villanova, but it looks like a trap, so I'll probably pass. If you wanted to be safe with it, you could take Villanova money line, but you're laying a decent price with that. So I'm personally just going to skip it. But other than that, I'm going to lean to the under 129.5 between Kansas State and Texas Tech. Kansas State, if you haven't noticed, even though historically they've been really good, they have been awful this year. Nobody's talked about them because they've been that bad. And Texas Tech, even though they have shown some signs of life offensively with Ramsey playing well lately, anytime you get the Beard system defensively, I think Kansas State's going to get clamped. I think this game could turn ugly. I don't know if it'll be as ugly as the Texas Tech, I believe it was Texas game from a couple weeks ago, where Texas Tech won by about 40. But I definitely think Kansas State should potentially struggle to break 50 or 55 in this game. I think this game will end somewhere in the realm of, I'd say 70 to 55, give or take, so I'll lean to the under. I just don't think Kansas State will score. Lean to the Kansas State team total under if you are looking for a specific, line for that game. But other than that, though, I think that's pretty much it for today's card. I look forward to the NBA being back, as I think all of you have realized over the course of the season that the NBA has been very profitable so far this season. But either or, show must go on. And once again, the play of the day will be on the Citadel and Chattanooga, over 151, and that line is available on DraftKings at minus 108. That's it over the installment of Scott Selections here for Wednesday, February 19th. And good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.